annual lovely gesture from Niall Horan to the instructor who completed his X Factor application. Niall Horan, an Irish musician, spoke exclusively to the Mirror at the Capitol Summertime Ball with Barclaycard about the version of his life that might have transpired if he had never stepped foot on the X Factor stage. As a member of One Direction, Niall Horan rose to fame in 2010. Since then, his music career has shattered records all around the world. Niall, 29, is still one of the biggest artists on the planet, and he loves working alone. More than 14 years after his life-changing performance on the X Factor with Harry Styles, Liam Payne, Louis Tomlinson, and Zayn Malik, Niall, who had just released his third studio album, The Show, thought back on how his route to fame and money had been paved by the compassion of his French instructor, who had unshakable faith in the then 16-year-old pupil. At the Capitol Summertime Ball with Barclaycard, Niall spoke exclusively to the Mirror about the version of his life that might have transpired if he had never entered the X Factor arena in front of judges Simon Cowell, Louis Walsh, and Katy Perry. The Irish superstar appeared obviously bewildered when asked where he believes his life might have gone if he had never been on the X Factor, as he struggled to imagine a scenario in which he wasn't doing what he loved. "Oh my God, do you know what? I consider that circumstance daily. It's difficult to imagine a life without music, yet who knows what I would be doing. It's been 14 years, so it's sort of hard to imagine what I would have been doing for all of those years if I hadn't been traveling the world and doing music," Niall said. "I'd like to think that if I hadn't gone on the show, I would still be in the music business, but I don't think the success would have been that great." Niall continued by saying that although he wasn't really excited about the prospect of entering the X Factor, his French teacher had encouraged him to demonstrate his undeniable talent. Niall's teacher applied for the ITV talent show on his own initiative after hearing about Niall's musical abilities in class. He had no idea at the time that he and his bandmates would go on to become some of the most well-known young people on the planet. "I was planning to apply to the program, but my French teacher took care of that for me. He completed the paperwork, submitted it, and urged me to attend the audition. I truly wouldn't be standing in Wembley Stadium set to perform in front of 80,000 people right now if it weren't for that and all the support from my school," Niall gushed. Although Niall leads a very busy life, has a long tour ahead of him, and an endless list of renowned acquaintances in his phone book, he still remembers his teacher's thoughtful act and makes an effort to repay it whenever he returns to Ireland. "I keep seeing him. Every time I visit my family, we go out for a few beers, all on me, and catch up." Given that a lot has transpired in the nearly 15 years since it all began, returning home is a good way for me to recenter myself.